Well, come back students. We have finished 6 parts of the lesson series on joining of sentences for the students of West Bengal Board and the ICSE Board. In these videos, we have learned how 2 or more simple sentences can be combined into a single, complete, simple sentence by using those 6 elements of grammar. The series has still 3 or 4 parts, in which we will learn how to combine the given sentences into a complex sentence, a complete complex sentence. Naturally, the idea of a complex sentence is now coming to the view, and with this, the idea of clauses is also coming. Without the concept of the clauses, the rest part of our lesson series on joining of sentences may be slightly difficult. To learn, renew and revise the concept, our present lesson is designed. From this, you will get the idea of clauses in English, their classification and uses in sentences. So, our present lesson is concept of clauses in English. But before entering the area of the clauses of English, let us review our idea about a sentence, okay? Now see the following chart. The chart has 2 parts. One is subject and other one is predicate. And the chart has 4 sentences. Number 1, he is my brother. Number 2, you are my sister. Number 3, I saw a boy. And number 4, he was ill. You know, these are the sentences, right? But why? For each sentence is a group of words. Each sentence is a group of words. Number 2, a sentence has its own subject and predicate. Own subject and predicate. Each sentence has its own subject and predicate. And number 3, each sentence gives a complete sense or meaning. Each sentence gives a complete sense or meaning. So, the definition of a sentence is a group of words having its own subject and predicate and giving a complete sense. Okay? Now see the following sentences. He is my brother and you are my sister. I saw a boy who was ill. And I saw a boy and he was ill. Look here, every sentence has 2 parts. Number 1, the sentence number 1 has, he is my brother and you are my sister. It's a long sentence. He is my brother and you are my sister. This is a sentence. And he is my brother and you are my sister. These are 2 parts. Here also, the second sentence has 2 parts also. I saw a boy and who was ill. The third sentence has 2 parts also. I saw a boy and he was ill. Okay. When they are separate, he is my brother and you are my sister. When they are separate, they are called sentences, you know. But when they are joined into a long sentence like this, and like this, they are not called sentences. They are no longer sentences. They are now the parts of a long sentence. This is a part of this long sentence. This is also a part of this long sentence. This is also a part. This is also a part. Similarly, this is also a part and this is also a part of the long sentence. So unitedly, they have made a long sentence. They have constructed a long sentence. For this, they lost their old status and names. Their old status was they were sentences. Okay? And they have gained their new status, new names, and they are called clauses. Understand? So, what is a clause? A clause is a group of words. A clause is a group of words. Number 2, it has its has its own subject and predicate. And number 3, the important part, that a clause cannot give a complete sense. And number 4, a clause is a larger part of a long sentence. Okay, so now what is a clause? Right here, a clause is a group of words. A clause has its own subject and predicate. A clause cannot give a complete sense. A clause is a larger part of a long sentence. Okay, so what is the clause? Now write the definition of clause, that a clause is a group of words, like a sentence, having a subject and a predicate of its own, and forming a large part of a long sentence. Okay, a clause is a group of words. It has its own subject and predicate. It cannot give a complete sense and is a larger part of a long sentence. Okay, so now you have to understand the difference between a clause and a sentence. What is a sentence? See, a sentence is a group of words. A sentence has its own subject and predicate. Now see here, a clause is a group of words. A clause had its own subject and predicate. So these two parts are the same, both in a clause and in a sentence. And see the number 3, third point. A sentence gives a complete sense, but here third point is saying a clause cannot give a complete sense. This is the difference. A clause cannot give a complete sense because it is a part of a long sentence. How can a part give a complete sense? It is not possible. So this is the difference, that a clause cannot give a complete sense, and because it is a part of a long sentence. Okay, so we can say in simple language, simple words, then when the small sentences are joined into a long sentence, those small sentences are called clauses. So a clause and a sentence both have the same features, same characteristics. Both have their own subject, their own object, and both are a group of words. But the difference is the sentence gives a complete sense, but a clause cannot give a complete sense, because clause is a part of a long sentence and a part cannot give a complete sense of the whole sentence. All the parts together give a complete sense. Understand? So this is a sentence and this is a clause. Okay, I think that now your concept of a sentence and a clause are now revised and renewed, and you are glad also. Okay, Well, now see, there are three types of, right? There are three types of clauses in English. Number one, principal clause. Principal clause. Number two, subordinate clause. Subordinate clause. Number three, that is coordinate clause. Coordinate clause. Okay, so clauses in English are divided into three parts. First one is principal clause, second one is the subordinate clause, and third one is the coordinate clause. And for the sake of our easy understanding, we will first learn what a subordinate clause is. Okay, number one, a subordinate clause. Subordinate. A subordinate clause. What is a subordinate clause? Subordinate means dependent. Subordinate means dependent. A subordinate clause is a dependent clause. A subordinate clause is a dependent clause. A subordinate clause is a dependent clause. Dependent clause. It depends on another clause. It depends on another clause for its meaning and sense. For the meaning and sense. So a subordinate clause is a dependent clause. It depends on another clause for the meaning and sense. Number two, a principal clause. Principal clause. What is a principal clause? The clause on which the subordinate clause depends in a sentence. For the completion of the sense. For the completion of a sense is called a principal clause. So the clause on which the subordinate clause depends in a sentence for the completion of a sentence is called a principal clause. Now see the example. From the example, you can clarify your idea. The example is, I know that you are a good boy. You are a good boy. I know that you are a good boy. That you are a good boy is a part. If it is uttered alone, by someone that you are a good boy, that you are a good boy, that you are a good boy, this way, so it will sound odd and absurd because it will have no meaning. It can give a meaning. Everyone will ask immediately, what is that? That you are saying always that you are a good boy, that you are a good boy. So it can't give a sense. For this, all these questions are coming. For its sense, it has to depend on the other part. This part, I know. As soon as this part is added, this part, that you are a good boy, this part will get its sense. I know that you are a good boy. So that you are a good boy, this one is a subordinate clause. Is a subordinate clause. And I know is a principal clause. Principal. I know is a principal clause. Okay. So I know that you are a good boy is a complex sentence. The complex sentence having two clauses. I know that you are a good boy. I know a principal clause and you are a good boy, a subordinate clause. Okay. Now see the coordinate clause. Coordinate number 3. Coordinate clause. Coordinate clause. Okay. What is a coordinate clause? A coordinate clause does not depend on any other clause for its sense. A coordinate clause does not depend on any other clause for its sense. Number 1, it does not depend on any other clause for its meaning. For its meaning. Number 2, it is called a coordinate clause because, why? It is called a coordinate clause because it is coordinated. Two clauses are coordinated or joined with one another in a sentence by the use of coordinate conjunction. It is called a coordinate clause. It is called a coordinate clause. It is called a coordinate clause. Coordinate clause because it is coordinated or joined with other clause in a sentence by the coordinating conjunction and, but, or, so, etc. Take one example. Okay, it is coordinated with other clauses in a sentence by the coordinating conjunction and, but, or, so. Take one example. He is my brother and you are my sister. He is my brother and you are my sister. These are two coordinate clauses. This one and this one. He is my brother. If you use it separately, it is a sentence, and you are my sister, when it is used separately, it is a sentence. But here they are not sentences, they are joined here in a long sentence by the use of a coordinate conjunction and. So he is my brother and you are my sister. These two parts are coordinated with a coordinator conjunction and. For this, they are equal in rank. They are not depending on one another. So they are called coordinate clauses. Coordinate clause. And this one also. Coordinate clause. They are equal. No one is depending on the other part. For this they are just simply they are joined or coordinated. For this they are called coordinate clauses, and the sentence is a compound sentence. Compound sentence. It sometimes a compound sentence is also called a double sentence, because it is a sentence. For this, in English grammar, a compound sentence is sometimes called by some people a double sentence. Okay. Now, the subordinate clauses are divided into three classes. Number one. What is number one? A noun clause. A noun clause. Number two, an adjective clause. Number three, an adverb clause. An adverb clause. Number one, a noun clause. Number two, an adjective clause. Number three, an adverb clause. Okay. Let us discuss what a noun clause is. Right. Number one, a noun clause. A noun clause. What is a noun clause? It is a clause that works like a noun. It is a clause that works like a noun. It works like a noun, okay, in a sentence. As number one, a subject. As a subject. Number two, an object. Number three, a complement. A complement. And number four, an apposition. An apposition. Okay. This subject is again divided into the actual subject and postponed subject. This object is the object of a verb and object of a preposition, and this complement is a complement of an adjective and complement of a verb, and this is an apposition, noun in apposition, you know. Now see the example. Take a few examples. Number one, subject of a verb. Number one, subject of a verb. Now write that he is a good boy. That he is a good boy is known to all. Is known to all. Okay. Is known is the verb. Is known is the verb, and this verb is controlled by this. This is the subject. This is the subject of this verb, is known. Okay. Now object number two. It is right. I know that he is a good boy. That he is a good boy is an object to this verb know. This is the verb. If this verb is questioned with what you know, this sentence is the answer. So it is an object here. So the whole clause is the answer. It is a clause working as an object to the verb know. Object to the verb know. Okay. Now number 3, example number 3. What is 3? Example number 3, this is 3, a complement. Complement the fact. The fact is, what is the fact? Incomplete. So this one, that he is a good boy. The fact is that he is a good boy. Okay, so it is a complement. Understand? Without this part is incomplete. For this it is called a complement. Complement to the verb is. Okay. Now number 4, that is apposition. Apposition, you know, a noun puts by the side of a noun, and the second noun works as an adjective to the first noun. It's called noun in apposition. So it is apposition. See the apposition example. It is a fact. Fact is a noun, you know. It is a noun, but you don't know the fact. For this, one explanation is necessary, and the coming clause will explain the fact. So it is a fact that he is a good boy. The same clause is being used in different environments with different sense. That he is a good boy is the fact. So fact is the noun, and this one is also a noun clause explaining the noun before it. This is the antecedent fact. So it is called an apposition. Apposition to the noun of fact. Apposition to the noun of fact. Okay, more examples and clarifications will be given in part 8 of this lesson series, when the use of noun clauses is shown in joining two or more simple sentences into a complex sentence. Okay, now come to the adjective clause. An adjective clause. An adjective clause. What is an adjective clause? It is the clause that describes or defines a noun or a pronoun placed before it. It is called an antecedent. Its antecedent. It is a clause that describes, like an adjective, describes or defines a noun or a pronoun placed before it means before the clause. Okay, before the clause, noun or pronoun before the clause is called an antecedent. Now see the example. The man who came here is a monk. Okay, who came here is a part and the man is a monk. So if you say the man is a monk, immediately there will be a question. Which man is the monk, is a monk? Which man is a monk? Immediate question, because man is here preceded by the definite article the. The is the definite article, it indicates some particular man. So the question is, which man is a monk? Okay, and the part who came here is the answer to this question. Which man is the monk? The answer is the man. Which man? The man who came here. Who came here is the answer, is a monk. Okay, who came here is defining this noun. This noun is placed before this clause. For this is called antecedent. So this clause is defining its antecedent. It's the noun before it as an adjective. For this it is an adjective clause. It is an adjective clause. And the man is a monk. The man is a monk is a principal clause. Principal clause. One thing you must remember, that the clause must define or describe its antecedent. It must define its identity. If it does so, it is an adjective clause. Like this, it is defining. It is defining its antecedent. For this, it is an adjective clause. But if it does not do that, if it cannot define that, it is not an adjective clause. If it gives some more information, some additional information about the antecedent, it is then a continuative relative clause. Then it won't be an adjective clause. A restrictive relative clause is called an adjective clause. It will be restricted to the noun if it defines the noun before it, but it won't be restricted to the noun if it can't define it, rather it gives some more information, additional information about it. In that case, it is called continuative relative clause. Okay, and that is restrictive relative clause. A restrictive relative clause is an adjective clause. A continuative relative clause is a coordinate clause. See the example, then you can clear your concept. See, I know the boy who came here. Okay, now see, if you say I know the boy, immediately one question will come, which boy? Because the boy is preceded by the definite article the. So I know the boy. Which boy? The second part, the clause, is the answer to this. So this is the second part, who came here, is the answer to this part, boy. This is called antecedent. This is the answer. So this is the definition of this noun. This is defining the noun. For this it is an adjective clause. It is an adjective clause, and this is antecedent, you know. Antecedent, the noun. Antecedent means the noun that is placed before the adjective clause. Okay. Now see another example, then you can understand the difference. I know your boy who came here. Okay, now see, I know your boy. So, which boy? Your boy. The identity of the boy is complete with the use of this word your. The identity of the boy is complete by the use of the word your. So the word your is used here to define the boy, to give the identity of the boy. So the boy is already defined or identified. It needs no other definition or description. For this part is complete. I know your boy. I know your boy means your son. I know your boy. Okay, but so what is the function of this part? Here is a comma. What is the function of this part? The function of this part is nothing but to give some additional information about your boy. What is the additional information? That and he came here. So who came here? Who means who means and he. So sentence is I know your boy and he came here. This is the sentence when it is stressed, when it is expanded. So he came here is a coordinate clause, and I know your boy is a coordinate clause, you know, and these two coordinate clauses are coordinated by the use of the coordinating conjunction and. Okay, this is your adjective clause. This is the concept of an adjective clause. Now an adverb clause. Now and number 3, an adverb clause. Now an adverb clause. What is an adverb clause? An adverb clause is the clause that works like an adverb. So it is a clause that works like an adverb. What is an adverb? This is the question. What is an adverb? An adverb is that part of a sentence that adds something more to a verb, to an adjective, or to some another adverb. Okay, this is what you have learnt. An adverb is that part of a speech, that adds something more to, number 1, to the meaning of a verb, number 2, to the meaning of an adjective, and number 3, to the meaning of another adverb, to the meaning of another adverb. Okay, to the meaning of a verb. See the example. He walks. He walks. This is the verb. Question is how? Slowly. Okay. So this word slowly is adding something to the meaning of the verb walks. So this is an adverb. Adding something, adding something to the verb is called an adverb. So he walks slowly. Slowly is an adverb. Number 2, he is very slow. He is very slow. Slow is an adjective and this very is an adverb. Okay. And number 3, an adverb, adding something more to the meaning of an adverb. So this is an adverb. He walks slowly. So write this. He walks slowly. The first sentence, first example, slowly. This is an adverb you have seen. And this is another adverb. He walks very slowly. Okay. So this is the definition of an adverb. Now, so an adverb clause is used to indicate. See, adverb means an adverb or an adverb clause is used to indicate. An adverb or adverb clause is used to indicate. Number one, time. See the example. When it rains, they dance. They dance when it rains. So it is an adverb clause. Okay. Number 2, an adverb clause is the clause that indicates a place. See the answer. Example, stay where you are now. Where you are now. This is the place. Stay where you are now. So it indicates a place. For this, it is an adverb clause. And this is a principal clause. Number 3, that is a cause. An adverb clause or adverb indicates a cause. What is the cause? See, I cannot go to school. I cannot go to school because I am ill. You may write this sentence this way: as I am ill, I cannot go to school. I cannot go to school. So I cannot go to school because I am ill, and as I am ill, these two clauses are called adverb clauses. Okay. Now number 4, an adverb clause indicates condition. What is this? Take one example, then you can understand. If you go there, condition. If you go there, you will get that. You get it. If you go there, this is the condition, you will get it. So this is the condition. This is an adverb clause expressing the condition. Number 5, that is called concession. 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 Take an example, then you can understand. Though he is ill, he will go to school. He will go to school. Though he is ill, expressing a concession. Though he is ill. So it is natural that he won't go to school, but he is going to school. This is the concession. So it is an adverb clause. Though he is ill is a concessional adverb clause. He will go to school is a principal clause. Now number 6, comparison. Adverb clause indicates a comparison. So if a comparison is indicated by any clause, that clause is an adverb clause. See the comparison. No other boy in the class is so good as he means he is. This one is a clause. This is an adverb clause. Adverb clause expressing a comparison. Okay. Number 7. Number 7C. An adverb clause is a clause that indicates sometimes an effect. What is the example? What is the sentence? See, he is so weak that he cannot walk. He is so weak that he cannot walk. This is the effect, and this is the cause, the principal clause. So it is an adverb clause expressing the effect. Okay. And number 7, this is number 8. An adverb clause is the clause that indicates purpose. See the example. He comes here so that he may get my help. He comes here so that he may get my help. He comes here. Why? What is the purpose? The answer is this clause. So it is an adverb clause. It is an adverb clause, and the rest one is the principal clause. And number 9, an adverb clause is the clause that indicates sometimes a manner. What is this? See the example. He eats. In which manner? That means how. Which way? Manner. He eats as if he were mad. As if he were mad is the answer to the question with how. How does he eat? He eats as if he were mad. This is an adverb clause expressing manner, adverb clause. And the rest one is the principal clause. Okay students, these are the few examples of adverb clauses, noun clauses, adjective clauses, coordinate clauses. You have got your idea revised and renewed. with the help of these discussions and clauses. Okay, read them well, and the next lessons will be easier for you. Later again, if I get time, I will make another lesson on English clauses with some other details and features. Okay students, this much today. Share this video with your friends and classmates. Stay attached, stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you very much for your attitude, attention and patience. See you soon.